The tablet hit the floor at 3:47 p.m. Screen first. Spiderweb cracks spreading from the center like frozen lightning. My son Dylan was holding the box 2 seconds earlier. Brand new iPad, 12 years old. His birthday? His face went blank. Then my nephew Carter laughed. Not a nervous laugh, a satisfied one. Oops. Carter was 10, my brother Jason's kid, and he'd just thrown a $600 tablet on the ground in the middle of Dylan's birthday party. I stood up from the picnic table. 30 people in my backyard, half of them family, half neighbors and Dylan's friends, all of them staring. Dylan bent down, picked up the tablet, tried to turn it on. Nothing. Just black glass and a shattered screen. He looked at me. Didn't cry. Just blank. Like he'd learned not to expect things to stay good. And that gutted me more than if he'd sobbed. I turned to Carter. What did you do? Carter shrugged. It slipped. Slipped. Yeah. Jason stepped forward. My older brother. 41 years old. Divorced. Living with Dad rent-free because he needed time to figure things out. That had been going on for 2 years. It was an accident, Derek. Kids drop things. I stared at him. He threw it. He's 10. He's old enough to know what he's doing. Jesus Christ, Derek. It's just a tablet. Buy another one. Just a tablet. $800, Dylan's main birthday gift. The one thing he'd asked for. I turned back to Carter. Did it slip, or did you throw it? Carter looked at Jason, then at me. I didn't mean to. Answer the question. Jason put his hand on my shoulder. Enough. You're embarrassing him. I shook his hand off. Embarrassing him? He just destroyed Dylan's birthday present in front of everyone. And Dylan will be fine. Kids are resilient. I looked at Dylan, still holding the broken tablet, still not crying, still blank. Carter, I said. Apologize. Carter looked at Jason again. Jason sighed. Carter, say you're sorry. Sorry. Flat. Robotic. No eye contact. I waited. Sorry for what? Carter's face twitched. For dropping it. You didn't drop it. You threw it. Jason stepped between us. Okay, that's enough. He apologized. Let it go. Let it go, like every other time. Like when Carter accidentally broke Dylan's Lego set last Thanksgiving. Like when Carter accidentally deleted Dylan's Minecraft world 2 months ago. Like when Carter accidentally shoved Dylan into the pool fully clothed at Dad's 4th of July cookout. Always an accident. Always kids being kids. Always me being told to let it go. I pulled out my phone, opened the camera, took a photo of the broken tablet. Dylan's face in the background. Jason frowned. What are you doing? Documenting. Documenting what? Evidence. I turned to the guests, forced a smile. Hey everyone, sorry about that. Cake's coming out in 5 minutes. My wife Laura was already moving toward the kitchen. She caught my eye. Mouthed. You okay? I shook my head slightly. She understood. Dad pulled me aside near the fence. Richard Burke. 68 years old. Retired machinist. Living in a 2-bedroom apartment across town because his pension barely covered groceries and utilities. I'd been paying his rent for 3 years. $2,000 a month. Directly to his landlord. Never missed a payment. Never asked for it back. Because he was my dad. And when he'd asked for help after Mom passed 8 years ago, I'd said yes. No hesitation. That was $72,000 over 3 years. Not that I was counting. Except now I was. Dad folded his arms. You need to apologize to your brother. I blinked. Apologize? Yeah. You embarrassed him in front of everyone. Carter destroyed Dylan's birthday present. It was an accident. No, it wasn't. Derek, come on. The kid's 10. He didn't mean it. And Dylan's 12. And it's his birthday. And he's been talking about that tablet for 3 months? So buy him another one. That's not the point. Dad's voice dropped. Then what is the point? That you want to humiliate your nephew? Make Jason feel like a bad parent? Jason is a bad parent if he can't teach his kid to respect other people's things. Dad's face went red. Watch your mouth. I'm not apologizing. You're being selfish. The word hit me like a slap. Selfish. Me. The guy who'd been paying his rent for 3 years, who'd covered Jason's car insurance last year when he forgot to pay it, who'd bought Carter's school supplies in September because Jason was between jobs. Selfish. Jason's going through a tough time, Dad continued. He needs support, not judgment. He's been going through a tough time for 5 years, Dad. At some point, it stops being a tough time and starts being who he is. That's enough. No, it's not. Carter's a bully, and Jason enables him, and you enable Jason. Dad's jaw tightened. Get out. I froze. What? You heard me. Get out. You're a damn selfish jerk. This is Dylan's party and you're making it about your ego. So get out of my sight before I say something I regret. I stood there, in my own backyard, at my son's birthday party, being told to leave, by my father, who I'd kept housed for 3 years. Something cold settled in my chest. Not anger. Clarity. I pulled out my phone, opened my banking app, found the recurring payment. Rent payment to Richard Burke's landlord. $2,000 monthly. Next payment, April 1st. 2 weeks away. I clicked edit. Scrolled down to payment amount. Changed it from $2,000 to $0. Clicked save. A confirmation box appeared. Are you sure you want to update this recurring payment? I clicked confirm. Another message. Recurring payment updated. 0.00 scheduled for April 1st and all future payments. I looked at Dad. Perfect. I'm cutting your $2K rent. His face went pale. What? You heard me. I'm selfish, right? So I'm going to be selfish. Starting April 1st, you're on your own. Derek, wait. No. I've been paying your rent for 3 years. $72,000. Because you said you needed help. And the one time I need you to have my back, at my son's birthday party, you call me selfish and tell me to get out. So I am. Done. You don't mean that. Yes, I do. I turned toward the house. Dad grabbed my arm. Derek, stop. We can talk about this. I pulled free. There's nothing to talk about. You made your choice. Now live with it. Inside, Laura was plating slices of cake. She saw my face. Set down the knife. What happened? I cut off Dad's rent. Her eyes widened. What? He told me to get out, called me selfish, so I canceled the payment. Derek, I'm not discussing it right now. She stared at me for a long moment, then nodded. Okay. She knew better than to push. The party ended around 5:30 p.m. People filtered out. Polite goodbyes, forced smiles. Nobody mentioned the broken tablet. Nobody mentioned Dad telling me to get out. They just left. Dad left without saying goodbye. Jason too. Carter didn't apologize again. By 6 p.m. it was just us. Me, Laura, Dylan, and a shattered iPad on the kitchen counter. Dylan came in while I was loading the dishwasher. Dad? Yeah, bud? Can we fix it? I looked at the tablet. The screen was destroyed, beyond repair. No, it's too far gone. Oh. He stood there quietly. Then, it's okay. I didn't really need it anyway. That broke something in me. Not anger. Something deeper. My 12-year-old son saying he didn't need the one thing he'd asked for, because he'd already learned to lower his expectations. I knelt down. Dylan, listen to me. You did nothing wrong. Carter did. And I'm going to make this right. How? I don't know yet, but I will. He nodded. Didn't believe me, but nodded anyway. Then he hugged me. Thanks, Dad. After he went upstairs, Laura sat next to me at the kitchen table. You really cut your dad's rent? It wasn't a question. Yeah. What's he gonna do? Figure it out, like I've had to figure everything else out. He's going to call. Probably. Tonight. Maybe. She took my hand. Whatever happens, I'm with you. I squeezed back. Didn't say anything. Didn't need to. I went to bed around 11 p.m. Laura was already asleep. I lay there staring at the ceiling, replaying the day. Carter's laugh. Jason's dismissal. Dad's words. Damn selfish jerk. I pulled out my phone, checked my banking app one more time. The recurring payment was still set to 000. April 1st. 14 days away. I closed the app, set the phone on the nightstand, and tried to sleep. At 11:43 p.m. there was a knock at the door. Not loud, but persistent. I heard it from the bedroom. Laura stirred beside me. Who's that? I don't know. Another knock. I got up, pulled on a shirt, went downstairs, looked through the peephole. Dad? Alone. His face was red, eyes puffy. He'd been crying. I stood there, hand on the doorknob. Part of me wanted to leave it locked. Let him knock. Let him stand out there in the cold. But I couldn't. Not yet. I opened the door. Dad? Derek? His voice cracked. Can I come in? I didn't move aside. It's almost midnight. I know, but I need to talk to you, please. I looked at him. Really looked. He looked smaller than I remembered. Older. Scared. I stepped back. Come in. Dad stood in my entryway, hands shaking. He'd driven here at midnight, 20-minute drive across town, in March. Cold. He wasn't wearing a jacket. I closed the door behind him. Didn't offer him a seat. Just stood there, waiting. Derek, I'm sorry. His voice was quiet, broken. I shouldn't have said those things. I was wrong. I didn't respond. Can we talk about this? Please? It's almost midnight, Dad. I know, but I couldn't wait. I couldn't sleep. I just kept thinking about what I said and what? You realized you need me to pay your rent? He flinched. That's exactly what this is. No. Derek, I came here because I was wrong, because I hurt you. And I need you to know that I'm sorry. I folded my arms. You called me selfish. I know. You told me to get out at my son's birthday party in my own backyard. I know. And I regret it. I was angry. I said things I didn't mean. You meant them. No. Dad. You chose Jason over Dylan, again, just like you always do. His face crumpled. That's not fair. Isn't it? Carter destroys Dylan's birthday present and you defend him. Jason does nothing to discipline his kid and you defend him. And when I stand up for my son, you call me selfish. Jason's going through. Don't say he's going through a tough time. Don't make excuses for him. Dad's jaw tightened. He's my son. So am I. Silence. Heavy. Suffocating. Dad looked down at his hands. You're right. You are. And I haven't treated you fairly. No, you haven't. So can we fix this? Can you undo the payment? There it was. Not, how can I make this right? Not, what do I need to do? Just undo the payment. I shook my head. No? Derek, you heard me, no? I can't afford my rent without you. Then figure it out. How? My pension is $1,200 a month. Rent is $2,200. I can't cover the difference. You should have thought about that before you told me to get out. His voice rose. I made a mistake. People make mistakes. And mistakes have consequences. So you're going to let me lose my apartment? Over one argument? I stepped closer. This isn't about one argument, Dad. This is about 3 years of you taking me for granted. 3 years of me paying your bills while you enabled Jason. 3 years of you choosing him over me every single time something comes up. That's not true. When Jason forgot to pay his car insurance last year, who covered it? Dad didn't answer. When Carter needed school supplies, who bought them? Still nothing. When Jason needed groceries because he was between jobs, who sent money? You did. Right, I did, because you asked. And I said yes. Every time. And you never once said thank you. You just expected it. I appreciate everything you've done. No, you don't. You take it for granted. Because I'm the responsible one. the one who has his life together. So I'm supposed to just absorb everyone else's problems and never complain? Dad's eyes filled with tears. What do you want me to do? I want you to choose Dylan. Just once. I want you to hold Jason accountable. I want Carter to apologize and mean it. I want you to stop making excuses for your golden child and start treating me like I matter. You do matter. Then prove it. How? Figure out your rent without me. Stand up to Jason. Make Carter apologize to Dylan properly. And maybe, we can talk about this again. Dad stood there, silent, tears running down his face. Then he turned and walked to the door. Stopped. Hand on the knob. I love you, Derek. I know. He left. I locked the door behind him. Stood there in the dark. And didn't feel guilty. Not yet. Morning came too early. Dylan had school. Laura made breakfast. Nobody talked about yesterday. I dropped Dylan off at 7:45 a.m. He hugged me before getting out of the car. Love you, Dad. Love you too, bud. He walked toward the building. Backpack slung over one shoulder. I watched until he disappeared inside. Then checked my phone. 3 missed texts. One from Jason, sent at 6:47 a.m. You're overreacting. Dad told me what you did. Cutting off his rent over a birthday present? Grow up. I read it twice. Didn't reply. Second text was from an unknown number. This is Carter's mom, Ashley. I heard what happened at the party. I'm sorry Carter broke Dylan's iPad. Jason should have handled it better. I'll talk to Carter about it. Ashley. Jason's ex-wife. They'd been divorced for 3 years. Carter lived with Jason most of the time, but spent every other weekend with Ashley, I typed back. Thanks for reaching out. I appreciate it. Short, polite, done. Third text was from Laura. Your dad called me at 7 a.m., asked me to convince you to change your mind. I told him to talk to you directly, just FYI. I called her. She picked up on the first ring. Hey. He called you? Yeah, woke me up. He was crying. What did he say? That he couldn't afford rent, that you were being stubborn, that he needed me to talk sense into you. And I told him this was between you two, that I wasn't getting involved. Thank you. Derek, I support you. But are you sure about this? Yes. What if he actually loses his apartment? Then he figures it out, moves somewhere cheaper, gets a roommate, something. Or moves in with Jason. I hadn't thought of that. Jason's place was a 2-bedroom. He already had Carter. But technically there was room. Maybe. Laura was quiet for a moment. Dylan asked me something this morning. What? He asked if Grandpa was mad at him. That hit me harder than I expected. What did you say? I said no, that Grandpa was mad at you, not him, but he didn't believe me. I gripped the steering wheel. I'll talk to him. Okay. We hung up. I sat in the school parking lot for another 5 minutes, staring at nothing. Then I drove to work. Work was a blur. I'm a project manager for a construction firm. Budgets, timelines, subcontractors. Normally I liked the structure, the problems that had clear solutions. Today I couldn't focus. My phone rang at 10:23 a.m. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. Hello? Is this Derek Burke? Male voice, older, unfamiliar. Yes, who's this? This is Martin Kowalski. I'm the landlord for the property at 847 Maple Street, your father's apartment. My stomach tightened. Okay. I received a notice from your bank this morning. The recurring payment for April has been canceled. That's correct. May I ask why? That's between me and my father. I understand. But I need to know if Richard will be paying the rent himself going forward, or if I should start the eviction process. You'll have to ask him. Martin sighed. I've tried calling him 3 times this morning. He's not answering. Then leave a message. Mr. Burke, I don't want to evict your father. He's been a good tenant, but he's also 2 months behind on utilities. The building charges for water and trash separately, and he hasn't paid since January. That's $340 he owes. I didn't know that. He didn't tell me. I assumed he hadn't. I've been letting it slide because the rent was always on time. But if the rent stops too, I understand. If Richard can pay the rent himself, I'm willing to work with him on the utilities. But I need to know by Friday. Talk to him, not me. I will. Thank you for your time. He hung up. I set the phone down. Stared at my computer screen. Dad was 2 months behind on utilities. $340. That wasn't much. But it was something he'd hidden. Why? Because he'd spent it on something else. Or given it to Jason. I pulled out my phone, opened my texts. Found Jason's message from this morning, typed a reply. Dad's 2 months behind on utilities. Did you borrow money from him? Sent. 3 dots appeared immediately. Then stopped. Then appeared again. Finally, a response. That's none of your business. So yes, Jason had borrowed money from Dad. Dad had given it to him. And now, Dad was behind on bills. I didn't reply. Just screenshotted the conversation. Saved it. Evidence. Lunch break. I sat in my truck. Ate a sandwich I didn't taste. Checked my bank account. The recurring payment to Dad's landlord was still canceled. 0 scheduled for April 1st. 13 days away. I opened a new note on my phone. Typed a list. Things Dad had asked me to cover in the last 3 years. Rent, $2,000 month, x 36 months, $72,000. Jason's car insurance, last year, $200. Carter's school supplies, September, $240. Jason's groceries, multiple times, $800 total. Dad's car repair, last winter, $650. Total, $74,190. $74,890. Over 3 years. And not once had Dad said, "You've done enough." Not once had Jason said, "Thank you." Not once had Carter been held accountable. I closed the note. Didn't delete it. Just saved it. For later. After work, I stopped at Target. Walked to the electronics section, found the iPad display. Same model Dylan had gotten. $599.999. I picked one up. Took it to the register. The cashier scanned it. That'll be $637 with tax. I handed her my card. She processed it. Would you like a gift receipt? No, regular receipt is fine. She bagged it. Handed it to me. Have a great day. Thanks. I walked out. Put the bag in my truck. Didn't tell Laura. Didn't tell Dylan. Not yet. Dylan was already home when I got there. Doing homework at the kitchen table. Laura was cooking dinner. I set my keys on the counter. Hey, bud, how was school? Dylan looked up. Fine. Anything interesting happen? Not really. He went back to his math homework. I sat down across from him. Dylan, I need to talk to you about something. He set his pencil down. Am I in trouble? No, not at all. Then what? Grandpa's not mad at you? His face didn't change. Mom said that too. It's true. He's mad at me, not you. You didn't do anything wrong. Then why did he yell at you? Because I stood up for you, and he didn't like that. Dylan was quiet. Then, is he not going to come over anymore? I don't know. Maybe, for a while. Because of the iPad? Because of a lot of things. Dylan nodded slowly, picked up his pencil. Okay. That was it. No tears. No argument. Just, okay. Like he'd already learned that people leave. I reached across the table, squeezed his shoulder. I love you, bud. Love you too, Dad. That night, my phone rang at 8:15 p.m. Jason. I stared at the screen. Let it ring. Once, twice, 3 times. Then it went to voicemail. Laura looked up from her book. Who was that? Jason. You didn't answer. No. Are you going to call him back? No. She nodded. Went back to her book. A minute later, my phone buzzed. Voicemail notification. I opened it. Pressed play. Put the phone to my ear. Jason's voice came through. Tight. Angry. Derek, this is crap. Dad called me crying tonight. Said you won't help him anymore, that he might lose his apartment because of you. Over what? A stupid birthday present? You're really going to do this to him? He's 68 years old. Where on earth is he supposed to go? Call me back. We need to talk about this like adults. The message ended. I deleted it. Set my phone face down on the couch. Laura was watching me. What did he say? That I'm being unreasonable. That Dad might lose his apartment. That we need to talk like adults. Are you going to call him? No. What if your dad does lose his apartment? I looked at her. Then Jason can take him in, since they're so close. She didn't respond, just nodded. And that was the end of it. For tonight. Monday morning. I got to work at 7:50 a.m., early. The site office was still empty. I liked it that way. Quiet. Just me and the coffee maker and a stack of invoices that needed review. I was 2 hours into budget reconciliation when my phone buzzed. Text from an unknown number. I opened it. Derek, this is your Aunt Carol. Your dad told me what's happening. I think you're being too hard on him. He's family. Call me. Carol. Dad's sister. Lives 3 hours away in Pennsylvania. Talks to Dad maybe twice a year. And now she's texting me about family. I didn't reply. Just added her number to my blocked list. 2 minutes later, another text. Different number. Hey man, it's Marcus from the gym. Your dad came by this morning looking for you. Seemed pretty upset. Everything okay? Marcus? I'd been going to the same gym for 5 years. We spotted each other sometimes. Talked about work, basketball, nothing deep. And now Dad was showing up there looking for me. I typed back. Yeah, all good. Family stuff. Thanks for the heads up. Sent. Put my phone on silent. Got back to work. At 11:30 a.m., there was a knock on my office trailer door. I looked up. Dad was standing outside, in the middle of my construction site, wearing the same clothes from Saturday, unshaven, eyes bloodshot. I stood up, opened the door. Dad, what are you doing here? I need to talk to you. I'm at work. I know, but you won't answer my calls, and I'm running out of time. Behind him, 3 of my guys were watching. Tony, Miguel, Jeff, all pretending to work. All listening. Come inside. Dad stepped into the trailer. I closed the door. You can't show up at my job, Dad. I didn't know what else to do. You could respect my boundaries. I don't have time for boundaries, Derek. My rent is due in 12 days. Then pay it. I can't. Figure it out. His voice cracked. I'm begging you. And I'm telling you no. Where am I supposed to go? That's not my problem. I'm your father. And you told me to get out, at my son's birthday party. So now I'm out. You wanted me gone. Congratulations. You got it. Dad's face crumpled. I didn't mean it like that. Yes, you did. Please, Derek. I can't afford. Did you ask Jason for help? He went quiet. Did you? He's struggling right now. He's always struggling, and you always bail him out. That's not fair. How much did you give him? Dad looked at the floor. Dad, how much? 300, last month. He needed it for Carter's medication. And the month before? Silence. Dad, 200, for groceries. So 500 total, the same 500 you owe your landlord for utilities. He didn't respond. You gave Jason money you didn't have, money you owed for bills, and now you're here asking me to cover it. I'm not asking you to cover it. I'm asking you to help me with rent, like you've been doing. I was helping you, past tense. That ended when you chose Jason over Dylan. Dad's hands were shaking. What do you want from me? I want you to hold Jason accountable. I want Carter to apologize to Dylan. I want you to admit that you've been enabling your golden child for years while taking me for granted. I don't take you for granted. Then prove it. How? Stop making excuses. Stop bailing Jason out. Stop defending Carter. And start acting like Dylan matters as much as Jason's kid. Dad stood there, silent. Then he turned and walked out. The door slammed behind him. I sat down, stared at my desk. Didn't feel good. Didn't feel bad. Just tired. At 12:15 p.m., Tony knocked. I waved him in. He closed the door behind him. Everything okay, boss? Yeah, family stuff. That your dad? Yeah. Tony nodded. Didn't push. Just stood there for a second. Then, for what it's worth, I heard some of it. Not trying to eavesdrop, just couldn't help it. And you're not wrong. I looked up. What? My brother's the same way. Always needs money. Always has an excuse. And my mom always bails him out. I stopped helping her cover his rent 2 years ago. Best decision I ever made. How'd she take it? Badly. Didn't talk to me for 6 months. But eventually she figured it out. Got him into a program. Now he's sober and working. Good for him. I'm just saying, sometimes people need to hit bottom before they change. And if you keep catching them, they never do. I nodded. Thanks, Tony. Anytime. He left. I went back to work. Wednesday afternoon. I was home early. Dylan was at soccer practice. Laura was grocery shopping. I was in the garage organizing tools when the doorbell rang. I opened it. A delivery driver, holding a box. Derek Burke? Yeah. Package for you. Sign here. I signed. He handed me the box, Target logo on the side, the iPad. I'd ordered overnight shipping. It had taken 2 days. Close enough. I brought it inside, set it on the kitchen table, opened it. Same model as the broken one. I pulled out my phone, took a picture, sent it to Laura. Surprise, don't tell Dylan yet. She replied immediately. You bought another one? Yeah. When? Monday. Why didn't you tell me? Because I wanted it to be ready before I said anything. 3 dots. Then, you're a good dad. I smiled. Set the phone down. Started setting up the iPad. Dylan got home at 5:30 p.m. Laura had picked him up from practice. He walked into the kitchen. Sweaty, grass stains on his knees. I was sitting at the table. The iPad was in front of me, box next to it, screen on, setup complete. Dylan froze. Dad? Hey, bud. Is that your birthday present? The one Carter broke. He stepped closer. You got me a new one? Yeah. But how? It's expensive. Don't worry about it. It's yours. Happy birthday. 2 days late, but still. Dylan picked it up, turned it over in his hands, then looked at me, eyes wet. Thank you. You're welcome. He hugged me, tight. Didn't let go for a long time. When he finally did, he was smiling. Really smiling. Not the forced smile from Saturday. A real one. Can I use it now? It's yours. Do whatever you want. He ran upstairs. Laura came into the kitchen, wrapped her arms around me from behind. That was perfect. He deserved it. So did you. I leaned back into her. Didn't say anything. Didn't need to. Thursday morning. Email notification at 9:47 a.m. from Jason. Subject. We need to talk. I opened it. Derek, Dad told me you showed up at his place and embarrassed him, that you won't listen to reason, that you're letting your pride destroy this family. I get it. You're mad about the iPad. Fine. I'll buy Dylan a new one. Just tell me the model and I'll have it shipped today. But you need to reinstate Dad's rent. He's 68 years old. He can't afford to lose his apartment. And you know that. You're punishing him because you're mad at me. That's not fair. Mom wouldn't have wanted this. She would have wanted us to stick together, to be there for each other. And right now, you're tearing this family apart. Think about what you're doing. Jason. I read it 3 times. Then a 4th. Mom wouldn't have wanted this. Mom, who passed 8 years ago from cancer, who'd spent her last 6 months trying to get Jason to visit more than once a week, who'd asked me to take care of Dad after she was gone. And now Jason was using her memory to guilt me into paying Dad's rent. I clicked reply, typed. Jason, don't use Mom to manipulate me. She would have wanted you to take responsibility for your son, to be a good father, to stop leaning on Dad for money. I already bought Dylan a new iPad. He has it. So you're off the hook there. As for Dad's rent, I've been paying it for 3 years, $72,000. And in that same time, Dad has given you at least $5,000 that I know of. Money he didn't have. Money he owed for bills. You want me to reinstate Dad's rent? Here's what needs to happen. 1. Carter apologizes to Dylan. In person. Sincerely. 2. You stop borrowing money from Dad. 3. Dad admits he's been enabling you and agrees to stop. Do those 3 things, and we can talk. Until then, Dad's rent is his problem, not mine. Derek. I hit send, closed my laptop, went back to work. Friday evening, I was watching TV with Dylan, some Marvel movie. My phone rang. Unknown number. I let it go to voicemail. 2 minutes later, another call. Same number. I picked up. Derek, this is Martin, your dad's landlord. We spoke earlier this week. I remember. I wanted to let you know that Richard came by today. Paid the utilities he owed. $340. Okay. He said he's working on a plan for April rent. Asked me to give him until next Friday to figure it out. And? I agreed. But I wanted to confirm with you. Are you planning to resume payments? No. I see. Then I'll proceed with Richard's plan, whatever that is. I just wanted to keep you in the loop. I appreciate it. Thanks for calling. Of course. Take care. He hung up. Dad had paid the utilities. $340 he'd found somewhere. Maybe he'd asked Jason. Maybe he'd sold something. I didn't know, didn't ask, just filed the information away and kept watching the movie. That night, Laura came into the living room. I was on the couch. Dylan had gone to bed. She sat down next to me. Your dad called again. When? About an hour ago, while you were helping Dylan with homework. What did he say? That he needs to talk to you, that it's important, that he has Jason with him. I turned to look at her. Jason's with him? That's what he said. Did he say what they want? No. Just that they need to talk to you. Together. I picked up my phone, checked my missed calls. Sure enough, Dad's number. Missed call at 8:47 p.m. I set the phone down. Are you going to call them back? No. What if they show up here? Then I'll deal with it. Laura was quiet for a moment. Then, Derek, I'm with you. You know that. But eventually you're going to have to face them. I know. When? When they do what I asked. What if they don't? Then I guess we're done. She squeezed my hand. Didn't say anything else. Just sat there with me. And that was enough. Saturday morning, 10:34 a.m. I was in the driveway washing my truck. Dylan was inside playing on his new iPad. Laura was at the grocery store. A car pulled up to the curb, Dad's old Corolla. He got out. Then Jason got out from the passenger side, both of them walking toward me. I set down the hose, wiped my hands on my jeans, waited. Dad spoke first. Derek, can we talk? Both of you? Yeah. I looked at Jason. He had his arms folded, face set, defensive. What's this about? Dad stepped closer. We wanted to clear the air, to fix this. Okay? I'm sorry, Derek, for what I said at Dylan's party, for taking you for granted, for not standing up for your son when I should have. I was wrong. His voice was steady, clear. No excuses this time. I nodded. I appreciate that. And I want to make it right. How? Dad looked at Jason. Jason said nothing. Just stood there. Jason has something to say too, Dad prompted. Jason's jaw tightened. I shouldn't have let Carter get away with breaking Dylan's iPad. Not an apology, just a statement. I waited. Silence. That was it. That's all you've got? I asked. What do you want me to say, Derek? I'm here, aren't I? You're here because Dad dragged you here. I'm here because you're holding Dad's rent hostage over a birthday present. No, I'm holding Dad's rent because he chose you over my son. Again. Jesus Christ. Let me make this simple, I said. There are 3 things that need to happen before we move forward. I told you this in my email. Jason rolled his eyes. Yeah, I read it. Then you know what I want. Carter needs to apologize to Dylan, in person, and I need to stop borrowing money from Dad, and Dad needs to admit he's been enabling me. Right. That's ridiculous. Then we're done here. I picked up the hose, turned back to the truck. Derek, wait. Dad's voice. I looked at him. I'll do it. I'll admit I've been enabling Jason. I have been, for years, and I'm ready to stop. Dad, Jason started. No. Dad cut him off. Derek's right. I've been making excuses for you, giving you money I don't have, defending Carter when he's out of line, and it needs to stop. Jason stared at him. Are you serious? Yes. So you're choosing him over me now? I'm choosing accountability. There's a difference. Jason's face went red. Unbelievable. I'm the one who's been there for you. I'm the one living with you. And you're going to side with him? I'm not siding with anyone. I'm telling the truth. Jason shook his head. Turned to me. You happy now? You got what you wanted. Dad's on your side. This isn't about sides, Jason. Nonsense. This has always been about sides. And you've always been Mom's favorite. Dad's favorite. The responsible one. The one who does everything right. That's not. And I'm the screw-up. The one who can't get his life together. The one who needs help. Well, guess what? I'm done asking. He turned and walked back to the car. Got in, slammed the door. Dad looked at me. Give me a second. He walked to the car, leaned in through the passenger window. I couldn't hear what they were saying, but I saw Jason shaking his head. Then Dad stepped back. Jason started the car, drove away. Dad stood there watching him go, then turned back to me. I'm sorry, he's not ready. I know, but I am. I meant what I said. I've been enabling him. And it stops now. I set the hose down. What about Carter? And the apology? I'll talk to him. I'll make sure it happens. And Jason has to stop borrowing money from you. I already told him that. He didn't like it. I don't care if he likes it, Dad nodded. Neither do I. Not anymore. We stood there for a moment. Then Dad said quietly, I know I can't undo what I said, or how I've treated you, but I want to try. To do better. To be the father you deserve. I don't need a perfect father, Dad. I just need one who shows up, who has my back, who treats Dylan like he matters. I will, I promise. I believed him. Not because of his words, but because of what he'd just done. He'd stood up to Jason for the first time in years. Maybe ever. Okay? Okay? Yeah. But the rent stays canceled until Carter apologizes. And until I see that you're serious about this. Dad nodded. Fair enough. He turned to leave, then stopped. Derek? Yeah? Thank you for not giving up on me. I didn't know what to say to that, so I just nodded. He got in his car and drove away. 2 weeks passed. April 1st came. No rent payment. Dad didn't call, didn't text. Neither did Jason. Dylan asked about Grandpa once. I told him they were working through some things. He accepted that. Went back to his iPad. On April 10th, Laura's phone rang. She looked at the screen. It's Jason. I frowned. Why is he calling you? I don't know, she answered. Hello? Pause. Okay, when? I'll ask him. She looked at me. Jason wants to bring Carter over tomorrow, after school, so Carter can apologize to Dylan. I stared at her. He said that? Yeah. Put him on speaker. She did. Jason? Yeah, I'm here. This is Derek. I know. You want to bring Carter over? Yeah, tomorrow, 4 o'clock. Why now? Silence on the other end. Then, because Dad won't talk to me until I do. And because you were right. Carter needs to apologize, and I need to be a better father. I glanced at Laura. She nodded. Okay, 4 o'clock tomorrow. Okay, thanks. He hung up. Laura set her phone down. Think he means it? I don't know, but I guess we'll find out. Sunday, 4:07 p.m. The doorbell rang. I opened it. Jason was standing there, Carter next to him. Carter's eyes were red. He'd been crying. "Hey," Jason said. "Come in." They stepped inside. Dylan was in the living room, playing a game on his iPad. I walked over. "Dylan, come here for a second." He looked up, saw Carter. His face went blank. But he got up, walked over, stood next to me. Jason nudged Carter forward. Carter stared at his shoes. Jason crouched down. "Go ahead." Carter looked up at Dylan. "I'm sorry I broke your iPad." His voice was quiet, shaky. "I threw it on purpose. It wasn't an accident. And I was mean to you. And I'm really, really sorry." Tears started running down his face. "I don't want you to hate me." Dylan stood there, silent. Then, "I don't hate you." "You don't?" "No, but it really hurt when you broke it, and when nobody believed me." Carter nodded. "I know, I'm sorry." They stood there for a moment. Then Dylan said, "Do you want to play something?" Carter looked up. "Really?" "Yeah, if you want." Carter looked at Jason. Jason nodded. Carter followed Dylan into the living room. They sat on the couch. Dylan handed Carter a controller. Jason watched them, then turned to me. "I've been a crappy parent." "Yeah? And a bad brother." "For sure." He laughed. Not a happy laugh. A broken one. "Dad kicked me out." I blinked. "What?" "Last week. Said I couldn't live with him anymore if I wasn't going to take responsibility for my life. So I'm staying with Ashley, Carter's mom, on her couch." "How's that going?" "It sucks, but maybe it's what I need. I don't know." He was quiet for a moment. "I signed up for therapy. First session's next week." "That's good?" "We'll see." He looked at the boys on the couch. Carter was laughing at something Dylan said. "He's a good kid," Jason said. Dylan. "Thanks." Carter could learn from him. "Carter's not a bad kid. He just needs consistency." "Yeah, I know." We stood there, awkward. Finally, Jason said, "I should go." "Okay. Can I come back next week to pick up Carter? Maybe we could do this again." I thought about it. "Yeah, that'd be fine." He nodded. "Thanks, Derek." He called Carter. Carter came over. "See you later, Dylan." "Bye, Carter." They left. Laura came out of the kitchen. "That was unexpected." "Yeah. Are you going to reinstate your dad's rent?" I pulled out my phone, opened my banking app, found the recurring payment, changed it from $0 back to $2,000. Set the first payment for May 1st. Clicked save. Confirmation message appeared. Recurring payment updated. I showed Laura. She smiled. "With conditions though, right?" "Yeah, no more bailing out Jason. Dad agreed to that." "Think he'll stick to it?" "I don't know, but that's on him now, not me." A month later, May 15th. Dad came over for dinner. First time since Dylan's birthday. Laura made lasagna. Dylan showed Grandpa his iPad, all the games he'd downloaded, the drawings he'd made. Dad listened, asked questions, smiled. Really smiled. After dinner, Dad pulled me aside. "I paid May rent on time." "I know, I got the confirmation." I also started going to a financial counselor through the senior center to help me budget better. "That's good, Dad." And I told Jason no last week. He asked for money for groceries, and I said no. How'd he take it? Not well, but he figured it out. Good. Dad looked at Dylan through the kitchen window. He was outside throwing a football with Carter. Jason had dropped Carter off an hour ago. First time they'd all been together since the party. "He's a great kid, Derek." "Yeah, he is." "You raised him right." "Thanks." We stood there quietly. Then Dad said, "I'm proud of you." I looked at him. "For what?" "For standing up to me, for not backing down. I needed that." I didn't know what to say, so I just put my hand on his shoulder. We're good, Dad. Yeah? Yes? 2 months later, July 4th weekend. We had a cookout. Me, Laura, Dylan, Dad, Jason, Carter, and Ashley. Nothing fancy. Just burgers and hot dogs. Dylan and Carter played basketball in the driveway. Jason actually helped with the grill. Dad told stories about his machinist days. Ashley laughed at his jokes. It wasn't perfect, wasn't healed, but it was better. Boundaries in place. Respect earned. Dylan was happy. At one point he came over. Dad, can Carter sleep over next weekend? I looked at Jason. He shrugged. Fine with me if it's fine with you. Yeah, that works. Dylan grinned. Ran back to the driveway. Laura squeezed my hand. You did good. I watched my son. Laughing, playing. Not blank anymore, not expecting disappointment. Just happy. Yeah, I said. We all did.